Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Hello world, Cossy here with another Geek movie review, this time for the new Transformers movie, Transformers Dark of the Moon. Now, I've just got back from the first preview showing of the new movie, and what can I say about it? Well, quite a lot. Now, as you can probably tell from that lot behind me, I am a big Transformers fan. It is something I grew up with. I watched the original, what is now called the Generation 1 cartoons, Beast Wars and Beast Machines as well. I had a lot of the toys as a kid. I had at one point every single issue of the Marvel comic book that unfortunately went missing at some point in my life. But hey, these are the things that happen. And yeah, so I've been a big fan of Transformers for a long time. And not so much the Michael Bay film franchise, more the animated series, but there's something I always say about Michael Bay, and that is that Michael Bay is the greatest director of trailers in the world. He can make amazing trailers for movies that are terrible, and it makes people want to go and see them. It basically creates box office buzz, and people fall into this trap of thinking maybe Michael Bay will make a movie that's not terrible this time, like Bad Boys 2 was. But hey, that's just my opinion on Michael Bay. So this movie though, this is the best of the three live action Transformers movies. This is a good movie. This is the Transformers trilogy's Empire Strikes Back. That's the comparison that I can give it. It's a good movie. Congratulations, Michael Bay, on that, because the second movie in particular was absolutely terrible. Terrible. So yeah, it's a good movie, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why it's a good movie. Now, I'm going to start off with the question everyone's asking. Calm down, guys, I'm going to start it. I know it's important. Rosie Huntington-Whiteley is a better actress than Megan Fox, but she's not as hot. She has a bit of a weird nose. She has an amazing body. She is gorgeous. She has a bit of a weird nose. And yeah, Megan Fox can't act. We all knew that. But yeah, she's an adequate replacement. The fact that she can act is good. So she's a good replacement for Fox. So yeah, that's out of the way straight away. Next, I'm going to talk a bit about the acting. I've already mentioned Rosie Huntington-Whiteley's acting. Now, the acting overall is good. Shia LaBeouf seems to be made for this sort of part of Sam Witwicky, or as anyone who's seen the cartoon would call him, Spike. He excels in it. He sort of suits it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about him. He just suits that role perfectly. A lot more than some of the other roles that he's taken since the first Transformers movie in 2007. Other actors, a lot of the returning cast from the previous movies fit in well. Big shout out to John Malkovich. He's only got a small part in it, but he is absolutely hilarious. He is genius. It's the best Malkovich comedy role I've seen since Red. And if you haven't seen that movie, do go out and get hold of it. It's pretty cheap actually on DVD. I would have thought. I saw it in the cinema, but yeah, good movie. Moving on. Special effects, CGI. I went to see this in 3D because all the preview showings are in 3D. Unfortunately, not in IMAX, but I'm not rich, so oh well. I could just about shell out for 3D. The 3D only adds in certain scenes. I wouldn't say that it was Avatar scale 3D where it was imperative you see it in 3D, or you won't get the whole experience. But yeah, it's a good 3D movie. It's much more 3D in it than the Thor movie, which I went to see in 3D. So yeah, that's good. The CGI obviously for the Transformers themselves was brilliant. When they transform looks good. The battle sequences look good. The one thing that, as I say, Michael Bay does well besides trailers, explosions and fight scenes look good. So all around the look of the movie, well done, looking good. Voice acting. I have a bugbear with the voice acting for the Transformers films because yeah, Peter Cullen is Optimus Prime. There was no one else who could have been Optimus Prime. He is Optimus Prime. He voiced him in the original cartoons. He voiced him in the movie. brilliant. Leonard Nimoy did well as Sentinel Prime, and he, for those of you who don't know, he originally voiced Galvatron in the animated movie from the 80s, so it was nice to see Spock getting a bit of voice acting work again. I've never been a big fan of Hugo Weaving as Megatron. That's just from a personal point that, for me, Frank Welker should have been Megatron. He's the voice of Megatron in the original series, and he was brilliant at it, and I just thought he should have kept that role. But hey, he does get to pop up as Soundwave, who doesn't have a massive part in the movie, but is there. And he also voiced, apparently, Shockwave. Now, Shockwave was built up, from what I've read about this movie, as being one of the main villains, but he doesn't have a big enough role for me. He's got a big role at the very end of the film, and a small role at the start, but not much in between. And he hardly says anything. Like, what's the point of having a voice actor doing that character's voice? I know they didn't get the original voice actor because he turned the role down. But what's the point of getting someone else in who barely says anything? A couple of lines of dialogue, a bit of a waste, especially as a character who is, I don't know, he's sort of quite important in the original animated series, and I thought he would have been a lot more important in this movie for the point of having him, but seemingly not. Storyline. Now, I'm not going to go and ruin it and give too many spoilers, because I really do think people need to go and see this movie. It's equal parts sort of comedy, action, and a bit of intrigue as well, building up to what happens. There's a lot of twists and turns in the movie that I didn't expect. I mean, it's a Michael Bay movie, so yeah, I was just expecting dry dialogue and then explosions, and then hot woman running in slow motion, best part of Transformers 2, and then explosions, and then some sort of conclusion with Optimus saying something noble. And I will say this, Optimus once again gets most of the best lines of dialogue that aren't comedy. The really good dialogue goes to Prime, and so it should. He's Optimus Prime, why not? Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of twists and turns, and the comedy elements aren't overplayed, and there's enough in the right places that it doesn't seem out of place. So good, yeah. Well done, Michael Bay, on that. There's not much more really I can say. It's a good movie. It's, for Transformers purists, you're always going to find a problem with it, but this is the best of the live action movies Michael Bay has done, and go and see it. Yeah, it's not as good a movie as X-Men First Class was, but this is a brilliant action movie, and it's got some really good comedy elements. As I said before, John Malkovich, funny guy, and he's not got that big a role, but he just stands out. He just steals the show. So yeah, go and watch it. It's a good movie, 4-star movie, and yeah, it's worth seeing. Maybe not so much in 3D unless you've got a bit of disposable income and you want those 5 or 6 scenes where it really makes a difference. Otherwise, yeah, just go and see this movie. As I always say, there's that like button down there, and it likes it when you click on it with your mouse. Comment, favourite, subscribe, spread the word, throw this video up on to Facebook, Tumblr, anywhere, just to tell people about it. And that's all I've got to say, really. Until next time even. Au revoir.